Part 370. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 3691. What Hall of Merit? Make it clear. I do not know how. Hey guy, built this thing. Who established it? Was it established by the Light Camp? Was it established by the Temple of the Alliance of Light? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and then sent a suspicious look to him, which really seemed a little strange. I know you don't care about these things. Before I came, I knew about it. Isn't it mainly a collective war against the Protoss this time? So in order to inspire everyone to work together to fight to the end, the tripartite forces of the Light Camp, the Dark Camp and the Neutral Camp formed the so-called Alliance of Allied Forces. After spending huge sums of money, the Hall of Merit and Merit was established immediately. Standardly speaking, it is mainly to calculate the contribution points according to the pros and cons of killing the Protoss. Then you can use these contribution points to exchange for the treasures arranged by the allies in the Hall of Merit. On the whole, the rewards are quite good. Basically, if you calculate roughly, it is about 1 contribution point for ordinary Protoss soldiers in the 6-star sanctuary and below, 10 contribution points for elite Protoss cultivators in the 7-star and 8-star sanctuary, and 10 contribution points for low-level saints and middle-level saints. 100 contribution points are counted for the Protoss of the realm, and 1000 contribution points are counted for the Protoss of the high-level saints and the supreme saints. As for the Protoss in the demigod realm, all of them will have 1,000,000 contribution points. This is the big head. Hey, the demigod realm Protoss are too difficult to deal with. Chu Ceci lay in Fang Fan's arms, and then told all these things like a treasure. Relatively speaking, she understood quite thoroughly. Fang Fan nodded silently, his eyes flickered involuntarily, his thoughts were full of thoughts and his expression was unpredictable. This sounds interesting. Running slowly, many rhythms are in place. How can you prove that you have this military merit? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and continued to ask, while a pair of big hands undoubtedly groped casually. The simplest and rude way is to take the head of the Protoss back. The texture of the head of the Protoss is different. Or, find something that can prove their identity. Chu Ceci shrugged and said directly. Head. If you say that, there are indeed several heads in my storage ring. One is the weak demigod Protoss I killed before the god city of the 7 courts, and I lured him into the small world to kill him. Also, when I ransacked the inner treasury of the city lord's mansion in Tianlin city of the Protoss, I killed the corpses of 2 quasi-demigods of the Protoss, and I haven't had time to deal with them. These 3 can be exchanged for 3,000,000 contribution points, right? As for the other low-level Protoss cultivators, let's forget it. Basically, they were bombarded with giant cannons and Gatling machine guns. This thing is really not easy to convert. Well, that's it, there's no need to think too much, just hold on to the rhythm. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, thinking to himself, then nodded silently, and the brilliance in his eyes flickered all over. There are unexpected surprises, which are not bad. By the way, how much is this contribution point worth? Exchange them all into star cores or godstone fragments. How did you exchange them? Fang Fan pondered for a moment, then asked again. This thing needs to be made clear. If you directly exchange star cores or godstone fragments, that would be the most wasteful way. But it's true, all you need to do now is this stuff. Probably 1 contribution point can be exchanged for 100 top-grade star cores. Or you can exchange 100 contribution points for 1 piece of godstone. In addition, if your credit is shocking enough, you may be rewarded with more contribution points on this basis. This mainly depends on how the people in the Hall of Merit judge it. The main thing is to create a certain sensational effect. Chu Ceci babbled, but she spoke quite clearly. Is this ratio so high? 100 contribution points can be exchanged for one Godstone fragment. Good guy, are you all this proud now? It seems that there are too many battles with the Protoss, and they are all drifting away. In this way, killing a Protoss demigod rewards 1,000,000 contribution points. Isn't it equivalent to 10,000 Godstone fragments? This is not too small. I worked so hard to plunder the inner treasury of the City Lord's mansion in Tianlin City of the Protoss, and I also searched for more than 1,000,000 fragments of the Divine Stone. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and while he was talking, his eyes became brighter. If he played like this, he wouldn't be sleepy. Are the heads of these 3 Protoss and demigods worth 30,000 Godstone fragments? As for the Godstone fragments, Fang Fan has always been open to anyone who comes. Now, 9 of the top 10 legions under his command have been promoted to the high-level Saint Realm. However, it was ruled that the Unicorn Holy Beast Legion was still stuck in the middle-level Holy State and had not been promoted. The main reason is lack of money. If you want to promote the mid-level Holy Venerable Unicorn Army to the high-level Holy Venerable, you need more than a dozen fragments of the 10,000 Godstone. At present, Fang Fan is still short of tens of thousands of Godstone fragments. When drowsiness comes, someone will send a pillow. The wool of the Hall of Merit formed by the Allied forces is not in vain or in vain. This is really good. A good thing, indeed a good thing. You told me earlier, wouldn't I just get a few more Protoss and demigod heads? Prodigal bitches. Fang Fan glared at Chu Ceci, then nodded her forehead affectionately. Why do you look like this? You know how to be greedy for merit. What if something unexpected happens? Humph. Have you ever thought about me? You're nothing. You are a bastard. Chu Ceci had always been very cold, but for some reason now, she became softer and more cute. Fang Fan looked at Chu Ceci's pretty face, couldn't help reaching out his hand, and then silently scraped her nose. In this way, it is quite comfortable. Between lovers, sometimes you need to give each other a little fun. Forward. Isn't it good if we just go out like this carelessly? Brother Fang Fan. Gui Sha stepped forward, ready to discuss the return journey, just in time to see Fang Fan and Chu Ceci together, and immediately turned into lemon essence. How should I put this stuff? It's just very complicated. This taste is not something that can be expressed clearly in a few words. It is very wonderful. Fortunately, I eat dog food every day, so invisibly, this antibody has gradually developed. So it's not too much to suffer now. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3692. Of course we can't just go out like this. At the very least, wear the uniform of a Protoss soldier. Others are not important, the most important thing is to ensure the safety factor. Well, that's the most important thing. Fang Fan shrugged, and immediately began to prepare. Of course, if you go out, you can't be too arrogant, at least before they are discovered. These weapons in their hands must be put away. Everything is ready, and then step out of the small world of Shushan Pavilion. How should I put it? My luck was really bad. When I first came out, there were a bunch of soldiers from the Protoss surrounding me. Then those Protoss soldiers stared at the strange scene in front of them in bewilderment, and for a while, they were speechless. A lot of words came together in my heart, and I didn't know what to say at all. It seems very difficult, the eyes are trembling, and the rest are nothing. The more I look at it, the more headache I get. Thousands of thoughts, mixed thoughts. Really messed up. They are the enemy. Protoss. They are mysterious aliens. Commander's order, as long as you encounter them, you will be killed without mercy. The soldiers of the Protoss immediately began to scream. It's the time now, no matter how much you say, it's useless. It can only be said that luck is really not very good. Kill it. Fang Fan waved his hand, cutting the mess with a sharp knife. Whoosh. Satan led the god-slaying demon army to attack first, and then a gust of black wind pierced through. A few seconds later, a corpse lay on the ground. Not even a trace of blood leaked out, and the scene was extremely strange. Although Fang Fan's reaction is already very fast, how can this thing be said? There are soldiers of the Protoss all over the place, and they are searching for Fang Fan and others like a carpet, so no matter how small the movement is, it has aroused the full attention of the Protoss. Notice. What followed was their full-scale pursuit. The frenzied pursuit begins to unfold at this moment. The mysterious aliens are there. Kill them. Kill. 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 Master Gucha has an order to kill them and promote them to the 3rd level. Kill. They are our sworn enemies. It must be slaughtered. The roars were endless, and the screams seemed a bit abrupt, but this did not affect the siege journey of the Protoss soldiers. It is about tens of miles away from Yuanxi Divine City. Run at full speed, and you'll be there in no time. But chasing and intercepting is not necessarily the case. And Fang Fan's main annoyance is the pursuit of those demigod gods. Go sideways. Speed up. Everyone, run fast. The Bloodshura Legion, the God-killing Devil Legion, and the Seraphim Legion are in charge of guarding the periphery. Tianlong Legion and Silver Dragon Legion, you each place Gothic Gatling machine gunners on the back of the dragon to ensure their output environment. But the premise of everything is to rush to Yuanxi God City. On the way, don't love to fight. Speed. Come directly. Fang Fan's voice gradually became chilling. While speaking, his eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance, his thoughts were well thought out, his breathing suddenly became rapid, and other feelings, needless to say, were completely swept in place. This wave is stable, basically stable. For the rest, there is nothing to fear. It's better than nothing to sprint straight into place. The surrounding tremor gradually became stronger. Clatter. Da-da-da. Gatling's unique tongue of flames began to spurt out, and the surrounding enemies were basically swept away, leaving no one left. Basically, only the God race practitioners of the high-level holy state and above can stabilize the wave. As for the Protoss of the high-level holy state, they can basically be a commander-in-chief among the Protoss, so the number of them cannot be too many. Moreover, Fang Fan and others erupted suddenly, so it was impossible for the Protoss practitioners scattered around to concentrate all their firepower on Fang Fan in the first place. Soon. About there. Continue to rush. Don't worry about anything else. Sprint to Yuanxi God City, we will be considered victorious. Fang Fan's voice gradually became hurried. At the same time, Fang Fan's gaze instantly became extremely sharp. This wave, continue to oppress and continue to sweep in place. Those who should come will come, pressing over with their craziest posture. It's him. It's him. Appeared again. Whirring. No matter what, this time, can't let him hide. Rush over. Quickly rush over. Opportunity, the opportunity is here. Kill. 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 The third-class god of the Protoss scratched Talha's eyes and drained the fluid deep in his eyes to make himself feel better. Then he gritted his teeth and rushed out desperately. At this moment, I don't have so many messy thoughts in my mind, I just want to sprint to the right place, to be in place, to continue to be in place. Then start your own comprehensive plan. Even if this wave is stable. Is this way? About there. It can really take off. Burst in place. Talha and Lugas stimulated their endless potential, and their speed became faster and faster. Everything else doesn't matter. As long as I can kill this guy in front of me. The mysterious aliens have caused them too much damage. They stayed to conduct a blanket search, in fact, to kill these mysterious foreigners. This is the death order issued by their supreme commander, First Class General Gushat. My lord, there are two quasi-demigods rushing over. I'll hold them back, you go. The leader of the Blood Azura Legion, Lohu, snorted secretly, and immediately formed a decisive battle alliance with the other 6 Blood Azuras. This time, the surrounding bloody smell became more and more intense, as if it could cover everything. Don't love to fight. While fighting and withdrawing, Rahu, lead the Blood Shura Legion to perform Sura Unity, and drag one of the quasi-demigods. The remaining one, the golden armored puppet fights. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, then gritted his teeth, and began to give orders. At this time, the only choice is to persevere. The road ahead is not far away. It's time to put all your eggs in one basket. At this moment, Fang Fan and others have become the core existence on the entire battlefield. Hundreds of thousands of Protoss troops circled around Fang Fan and the others. At the moment, the Allied forces guarding the walls of the Yuanchi God City can naturally see clearly. In the neutral camp, the master of the Yuanchi Academy stared at the existence in the distance with a look of astonishment and confusion. Who is this son? Whose general is he? I thought the madmen of the dark camp were already invincible in the world, but I didn't expect anyone to be braver than him. This is really going against the sky. A mere dozens of people, playing with hundreds of thousands of elite Protoss. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3693. The head of the Yuanchi Academy couldn't help being horrified. This scene was really exciting. For a while I didn't know what to say. The idea is very prominent and very real. This, it seems to be someone from the Guangming Academy, so it should be a person from the Guangming camp. The boy in the lead, I have seen. Su Qin, deputy head of the Yuanchi Academy, looked into the distance. His face suddenly became much worse, and at the same time, the expression of horror on his face was indescribable. If he remembered correctly, this kid should be the apprentice that Tai Shuja has always relied on. Before that, I heard Tai Shuji bragging a lot. The relationship between him and Tai Shuji was not harmonious, and seeing his apprentice so strong at this moment, he couldn't help but feel uncomfortable. People from Guangming Academy. Could it be a certain hidden palace master and deputy palace master of Guangming Academy? It's just that this young appearance is quite interesting. The master of Yuanchi Academy murmured, then nodded, and said, maybe that's what I thought. For it. This guy seems to be a student of Guangming Academy. It's the direct disciple of that grand Uncle Ji from Guangming Academy. Su Qin, the deputy head of the Yuanchi Academy, trembled his lips, then shook his head helplessly. He could only explain this matter, and it didn't seem like it was going to be so involved. Too difficult. Student. His. Guangming Academy is going to, a sign of great prosperity. Why? This luck is really. Call. Students of this Guangming Academy must establish a good relationship. Absolutely not to be missed. I told you, did you hear that? With a cold snort sweeping across the place, the palace master of Yuanchi Academy said eagerly. Su Qin. Yes, according to the palace master. Su Qin, the deputy head of the Yuanchi Academy, looked aggrieved. My head felt a little confused for a moment, and the feeling of chaos was tossing in my head. Too difficult. These bells and whistles were almost tossing him away. The various feelings in my heart gradually increased. Complicated thoughts, flickering eyes. Fang Fan's existence has attracted the attention of many people. Some are happy and some are sad. Not everyone was happy to see Fang Fan's return. It is said that they are allies, but in fact they are still competing with each other. If there is a slight deviation, it must be done directly. The rhythm is clearly arranged. Dark Camp. Mo Tien, the first-class saint in the Dark Temple, licked his lips, and a wave of murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He looked at Madman, the number one son of the Dark Temple, and said indifferently, "How do you think he compares to you?" As soon as the sentence is said, it has a sense of rhythm. I killed him like a dog. Snort. He is nothing in front of me. I can kill him 100 times with one move. The first son of the Dark Temple held his head high and held his chest high, with an indifferent expression on his face at the moment. This is his pride. Crazy Demon, the number one son of the Dark Temple, this position has been untouchable for many years. Before the Bone Age of Long Live, he was promoted to the Supreme Saint realm. Because of his special physique, he could even fight a wave of strong people in the quasi-demigod realm. As long as there are no accidents in the middle, he will be the leader of the next generation of the Dark Temple. Oh. Is it? Then can you sneak into the rear of the Protoss, and then attract the hundreds of thousands of elite troops of the Protoss to besiege it without losing the wind, and even save yourself? Are you okay? Motion, the first-class saint in the Dark Temple, sneered. His voice was very cold, and for a while, there was an extreme biting feeling. These words are like a sharp knife, piercing through the heart like this. The feeling is very uncomfortable. Especially for an extremely rebellious person. In their world, they have always been the only ones, and they always feel that they are the top existence. There are some deviations this time, and there will be more or less ideological deflection in my heart. Gradually, thinking will change in an all-round way. Probably this is the real state. Very solid and clear. That's pretty much it. I snort. I haven't tried it, how do I know it won't work? This guy from the light camp is just a little bit luckier. With strength, he is not worthy to lift my shoes. I want to go out and kill him. Madman, the first son of the Dark Temple, shook his stiff neck, sneered as he spoke, and then let out a sneer, with murderous intent in his eyes, and his expression suddenly changed. The thoughts are in place, and the sense of suppression is also sweeping across the board. This time, a sense of panic emerged in the depths of my heart. Kill him. If such an existence belonged to my Dark Temple, how wonderful it would be. It's okay, he belongs to the Light Camp. This proud son of the Light Camp will naturally be killed, but not now. Do you really want to die in front of so many people? This road, please walk carefully and safely. Don't overestimate yourself. Calm down. The cold snort swept in place, and his posture became stable. Mo Tien, the first-class saint of the Dark Temple, crossed his hands in front of him, and his eyes flickered slightly. He was thinking a lot, and his eyes flickered inexplicably. All kinds of thoughts deep in my heart gradually increased. This is quite interesting. Kill him, and the Temple of the Light Alliance will ruin the luck for 10,000 years. Mo Tien, the first-class saint in the Dark Temple, murmured to himself and suddenly made an evaluation. This evaluation is already high enough. On the side, the number one son of the Dark Temple, Madman, looked disapproving. He was used to it, and he took an indifferent attitude towards these things, thinking that he could beat everything. Everyone is nothing but ants in front of him. Do you need to think about dealing with such ants? Nothing. It's just so buoyant. In terms of attitude, it must be fully supplemented. Then shall we go out to help? Now these Protoss armies are so messy, if they take action, they will definitely be able to kill many Protoss. This is an excellent opportunity. Madman, the first son of the Dark Temple, licked his lips, his face couldn't help showing excitement, and he couldn't help rubbing his hands together as he spoke. There was indeed some impulsiveness in his heart. If you grasp the opportunity well, it will indeed be different. For a fighting maniac like him, those plots and tricks don't matter, and he doesn't care, he just likes to fight. Especially this kind of bloody battle, he prefers. Call. So, how exciting. There was a sense of excitement all over his body. The whole person, directly elegant. The smell of blood is so good. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3694. Need not. Ah. This is someone from the Light Camp. They didn't come to the rescue from the Temple of the Light Alliance. What are we going to do? We really can't take the initiative to kill him, but there is no need to save him. So be it. In a moment, there will be something else. Interesting, extremely interesting. It's really good. Mo Tien, the first-class saint in the Dark Temple, sneered silently, and then became even more indifferent. The tower where the Light Camp is located. Go to war. Daddy. My husband is right there. We want to bring him back. He's too dangerous now. Daddy. Hundreds of thousands of Protoss troops are besieging him. What if something happens? Daddy. Concubine Xiang looked into the distance, and at this moment, looking at Fang Fan's figure, her heart also moved. While speaking, his eyes flickered, and the corners of his mouth murmured to the extreme. This wave, I really can't grasp it. Too difficult. The more I think about it, the more frightened I become. Wang Tu is the president of the Light Camp. He didn't give orders. According to the normal situation, we can't do anything. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, gritted his teeth, his eyes trembled slightly at this moment, and other thoughts in his heart also increased. He also knew that the situation was bad, but there are some things that must be grasped, and you can't wander around, otherwise everything will be ruined. Can't do it? What's the meaning? Are we going to watch like this? Grass. Wang Tu wants to kill my apprentice, and you want to kill your son-in-law too. Shui Wanren, don't be so dull. I don't even look at what form it is now. Let's attack. Do not think too much. Even if only people from our Guangming Academy attack, it can relieve Fang Fan a little bit of pressure. If you don't go, I will go by myself. Tai Shiji gritted his teeth, and as he spoke, endless energy burst out from all over his body. Then he strode forward and was about to sprint out. Don't worry. I'm going to urge Wang Tu. Shui Wanren frowned, and now striding forward, he couldn't help but fall into endless thoughts. During this conversation, his eyebrows were raised, and his thoughts became more and more chaotic. These messy situations are too bad. It's messed up. What a bastard. On and on, just playing around here. Commander Wang. The next battle is Fang Fan, a student of my Guangming Academy. He followed the command of Commander Wang to investigate the intelligence of the Protoss. Now he is right in front of you. And he is entangled with hundreds of thousands of Protoss troops. Please order Commander Wang to respond. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, gritted his teeth, and then said with determination. This matter must not be left alone. You must show your attitude, this is the most important thing. After the posture is flattened, the next thing will be easy to carry out. Let's fight till the end. Wang Tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, forcibly pulled a smile at this moment. Damn it, again. Help me with a hammer. I was worried that I couldn't find a good way to kill him. Well now, I have fallen into the siege of the Protoss army. What a great opportunity. With the help of the gods to get rid of Fang Fan's confidant, Why not do it? In this case, he will not be held responsible. Immediately feel happy. This road is straightforward. Cool. It's taking off. Straight away. Opportunities are right in front of you, a lot of fun. There are thousands of thoughts, and there are naturally more things to think about. A smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and his thoughts rushed to the extreme. It's just that Shui Wanren directly asked for reinforcements to launch an attack in front of so many people, which to some extent also put him in a dilemma. You have to find an excuse to prevaricate, right? After all, he was indeed the one who ordered Fang Fan to go out to find out the enemy's situation at the beginning. Now that people are in front of them and they don't respond, what's going on? I always think it's amazing. As soon as I thought of this, my thoughts gradually became messy. This time it seems quite complicated. The more you think about it, the harder it is. What rhythm should be followed is the most important thing. He. Vice Palace Master Shui, don't worry. I don't think things are that serious yet. This Fang Fan is worthy of being the proud son of your Guangming Academy. Sure enough, he did not disappoint me. Look at how he is killing all the way in the enemy's camp, he is really tough. Tisk, tisk tisk. It's really not something that ordinary people can do. It is really a great fortune for Guangming Academy to have such a student. Good thing. Absolutely great thing. Even our entire light camp follows glory. Wang Tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Light Alliance, sighed with emotion one after another. It's like that. But after all, I'm still talking nonsense on this matter. This is obviously going to be tricky. The gaudy feeling in it is superimposing. Now this is clearly delaying time. As long as the time is right, that Fang Fan will naturally die. Those cultivators of the light camp who wanted to go out to help, saw that Commander Wang had this attitude, and immediately shrank back. Can't just look for trouble. Now when he goes out, he will be resented by Commander Wang. What's the trouble? So there's no need at all. In terms of the situation, it must collapse and not wander. This is the most important thing. The more you think, the stronger the sense of rhythm and the clearer the thinking. All of a sudden, take off in full swing. Shui Wanren's face gradually turned cold, and he couldn't fail to see this trick. I thought that this Wang Saint had some opinions on Fang Fan because of the previous incident, but he was not too confused about right and wrong. Didn't expect this to be bullshit. Okay. Sage Wang, you don't need to say those fake words. Just say, can you go out to help now? Can you issue this order? Shui Wanren retracted his bowed hands and put them behind his back. While speaking, his posture was fully displayed. It probably means that I just did this, and then it depends on your reaction and attitude. Anyway, I don't want to continue acting with this guy. Straight to the point, if you can do it, you can do it, if you can't do it, you can't do it. What's the point of waiting here all this time just to save your face? In the end, my son-in-law Chen Glongquei may be in danger. Who will handle this matter? The face of Wang Tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, completely darkened, and even the forced smile disappeared. What kind of attitude is this? Press. I don't know who is the commander-in-chief here. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3695. As the president of the Light Camp, I am entrusted by the Pope to lead the entire army. I must be responsible for everyone. If I, Wang Tu, were the only one today, I would have rushed over even if I was smashed to pieces. I would never delay. But not now. I must be responsible to everyone. I must be responsible for all of you. Who knows, is this a longman formation and a trap laid down by the Protoss army, just waiting for us to take the bait. The basis of rushing to the rescue is to ensure the safety of everything. Fang Fan is great. He is the pride of my light camp. Heroes of my camp of light. I would love to welcome him back, too. But not now. In your position, don't be reckless. Wang Tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, held his head high, and then began to speak solemnly. That's what I said kindly and frankly. But everyone knows what he means inside and outside the words. Is this to treat everyone as fools? What is the situation? Do you really have no points in your heart? I just don't want to say more. This is actually very obvious. I understand everything. I don't understand, there's nothing I can do about it. This matter has been completely terminated. Things have come to this level, there is nothing left to say. That's all. Good. Very good. Sage Wang doesn't give orders, and Sage Wang is concerned about the overall situation, but I, Shui Wanren, have no plans. Students of my Guangming Academy, I must save them. Snort. That's it, that's it. All the mentors of the holy realm of Guangming Academy. Follow me to fight. Rescue Fang Fan. Fight to the death. The deputy head of the Guangming Academy snorted coldly, and then the infinite strength burst out all over the body. While speaking, his eyes flickered rapidly, and his thoughts gradually pushed over, with an extremely strong sense of oppression. Ha ha ha. Deputy Palace Master Shui. Count me in. My little friend Fang Fan and I hit it off right away. I'm willing to fight for it. Bring back the heroes of my light camp. Xiaoho Xiaotian, the commander of the city guards of the Bright God City, stepped forward, and the endless aura around him followed silently. Between the words, the eyes flashed endless light. Wish to fight with the great commander. Bring back the heroes of the light camp. Hundreds of thousands of guards of the city of Guangming God City also became restless, and the energy around them became more and more vigorous. For a moment, people burst into madness in their beliefs. This time, let me tell someone more about my feelings. This wave is almost as stable as Mount Tai. For the rest, it's all over, it doesn't matter, it's almost like that. Stabilized. I understand everything. All of a sudden, the battle aura on the side of the light camp gradually came into place. As the president of the light camp, Wang Tu's expression looked very unhappy. Damn. Is this an open confrontation with him? Is this what you mean? Do you still take him as the handsome president in your eyes? One by one, is it possible that they all want to fly solo? Do. Keep going? Damn. The more I thought about it, the more chaotic I became, my thoughts gradually gathered, and my complexion became extremely ugly. His hands silently clenched into fists, his eyes sharp and stimulating. But those beautiful words have been said just now, and now, it seems, I don't seem to have the right to continue to stop it. Everyone. Take it into account. Wang Tu said the sentence without any pain, and he didn't know what he wanted to express. Anyway, fancy. I don't quite understand. Saint Wang, please don't worry. I, Xiaohe Xiaotian, act on my own behalf. I can't just watch the heroes of my Guangming Academy die here. He. Master Wang Saint also said just now, if you were not in the current position, I am afraid that you would have rushed out long ago. I don't have the lofty ambitions of Lord Saint, but I should work hard. Xiaoho Xiaotian, the commander of the city guards of Guangming God City, shrugged and said calmly. Wang Tu. Good guy, use my words to choke me? Damn stuff. Can you still play like this? What kind of trouble does this gaudy thing want to make? It's really a dog thing. This wave, the mentality collapsed. The more I thought about it, the more confused my thoughts became. There were endless flashes of light in his eyes, and his complexion was extremely gloomy. Others are missing and meaningless. At the moment, just control the situation and just follow along silently. This point is quite important. The more you think about it, the more confused your thoughts become, and the more your ideas explode. To win in chaos is the right way. Ah. He. Good. Very good. City Master Cao Tang, these generals of your Guangming God City are very thoughtful. Every one of them is full of blood. It was excellent. Wang Tu gritted his teeth, and then couldn't help but began to groan at the side. Anyway, the words are in place, and basically everyone understands everything. I don't understand, there is really nothing I can do. This wave is basically the same. As stable as Mount Tai. Departure pending. Start directly with a blast. The situation is fierce. Ah. Cough. Yeah, right. It's all the saints who taught well. The corner of Cao Tang's mouth twitched, the lord of Guangming God City, his face was numb. Oh shit. What's going on? It was a mess, and then it became like this. Continue to play along? There's a lot of bells and whistles. This mentality has long been flying in the air. His eyes shrank, his expression was indifferent, he was nothing, and in the end he was just playing. The situation is a bit chaotic. Cao Tang, the lord of Guangming God City, stood indifferently. Now I can only play sloppy eyes. Can he say that he can no longer control the city guards of Guangming God City? Can he slap himself in the face? This is definitely not possible, so now I can only stabilize. In terms of situation, it must also collapse, this is the most important thing. The soldiers and horses here are ready and they are about to rush over to help, but they find that Fang Fan and his men are riding on the Tianlong, and they are about to gallop back. Those Protoss chasing soldiers behind couldn't catch up for a while. The quasi-demigods of the two Protoss, Talha and Lugas, tried their best to chase after them, but they were blocked by the Blood Shuro Legion and the Golden Armored Puppets. The Blood Shuro Legion is originally a high-level Saint Venerable Legion. After using the Sura Unity Legion exclusive skill, the combat power will skyrocket by 2 levels to the quasi-demigod state. Furthermore, the Golden Armored Puppet is also a quasi-demigod. 2 quasi-demigods in the realm of war against 2 quasi-demigods of the War God clan, even if they can't be defeated, it's not a big problem to delay. And still fighting while withdrawing. It just so happened that they came back along the edge of the battlefield. For a while, the other demigod powerhouses of the Protoss around them had no time to rush over. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3696. This is almost equivalent to a time difference. As long as it is in place, there is no problem. The situation can also be fully controlled. The situation is even more stable. The pursuers are chasing after, Fang Fan rides the dust. At the same time, Fang Fan hinted that Bai Biao lifted the heads of the 3 Protoss and demigods. Hey! Fang Fan, a student of Guangming Academy. Slaying the weak demigods of the gods and returning. Hey! Fang Fan, a student of Guangming Academy. Slaying the weak demigods of the gods and returning. Hey! Fang Fan, a student of Guangming Academy. Slaying the weak demigods of the gods and returning. Bai Biao definitely has a way in this regard. That's what he said with confidence. As for shame or something, does it exist? Nothing. In terms of mentality, he is fully fluttering, and his thoughts are rushing to the extreme. Bai Biao yelled, and the entire Yuanqi Divine City exploded. Grass. The Protoss is weak and demigod. Killed. So awesome. The Protoss and demigods have stronger single combat power. Protoss quasi-demigods are comparable to ordinary weak demigods of the Allies. The Protoss are weak demigods, so they are almost comparable to the strong demigods of the Allied forces. Such a situation makes people feel throbbing invisibly. I'm against the sky. They really killed the weak demigods of the Protoss. Isn't that even the strong demigods of our dark camp can do it? Is this a student of Guangming Academy? How strong is a student? Autistic, why can you be so good? It's so terrifying. Hold on, don't be a fool, I can beat you to death in minutes. The situation is not stable. Stay alive is the real thing. Damn it, it's a real bully. Convinced. This wave is extremely convinced. False propaganda? Bragging. Let alone a weak demigod of the Protoss, even a quasi-demigod of the Protoss is not so easy to deal with. I also think it's bragging, but what people say is calm, it doesn't seem to be fake. Hey, what the hell is going on, I don't even know. Beauty and gaudy, how do you do that? Look, that guy has a head in his hand as proof. This seems to be true, the aura emanating from that head seems to be at the level of a demigod. My god, this wave seems to be really going against the sky. So terrifying. Hey, why can people be so against the sky? I'm just like this. I'm convinced, it's nothing. Trash, I vomited. Just play like this? Boy, what's the point of this? Collapse, mentality collapse, must collapse. It should be hugging. Look, everyone, the face of Wangtu, the first-class saint, is not quite right, it seems that his nose is crooked with anger. Hey, there seems to be a conflict between this Wang disciple saint and that Fang Fan. If he didn't send troops to meet him just now, he might just want to kill this Fang Fan. It's a pity that he made a mistake, and in the end he was nothing but made himself a mess. There were more and more complaints from the surroundings. The more you scream, the more excited you become, and the more you scream, the more urgent you become. Between words, full of excitement. Feeling in place, full take-off. That's about it. I understand everything. This kid. It's always so unexpected. You don't need to respond, you will come back by yourself. Unexpectedly broke out from the encirclement of hundreds of thousands of Protoss troops. He also came back with the heads of 3 Protoss and demigods. Gudong, this is a bit scary. Interesting, indeed interesting. Just such a wave of suppression is in place, there is something. Why? This is my apprentice. See if you don't, that's my disciple. Don't be envious or jealous. Because even envy, jealousy, and hatred are useless. Who made my apprentice so good? If you want to find another such excellent apprentice, it will be too difficult. To be precise, it should be absolutely impossible. Tut, tisk, absolutely. Tai Shuja's embarrassing temperament still hasn't changed. While talking at the moment, I couldn't help but started dancing. While speaking, his eyes were fully raised, and the whole person became smug. That is a comfortable and flattering. This kind of taste, let alone tell anyone. The stimulation is in place, basically it's almost there. In the depths of my mind, there are all those things, take off and take off again. If you run out like this, you will be beaten to death. Fortunately, these people around know what kind of temperament this guy is, so they didn't say much. You don't put gold on your face. What kind of person are you, do you have no points in your heart? I'm still doing these things here. Really are. You bastard, when can you calm down a little? Fang Fan's achievements today have nothing to do with you. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, couldn't help but expose Dao completely. Why? I'm jealous. Listen to the tone, it's clear that if you can't eat grapes, you just say that grapes are fine. Understood, I understand what you mean. Don't worry, I won't be angry, because my apprentice will be back soon. Tai Shuja jumped a bit in embarrassment, and then evacuated directly. Anyway, it looks pretty happy right now. Beautiful. On the battlefield in front of Yuanqi God City, the third-class generals of the Protoss, Talha and Lugas, gritted their teeth and attacked frantically. Die. Go away. Don't block the way of this god general. Damn. They're all a bunch of hateful bastards. Get out. Get out of here. Rubbish. Ah. Ah. Anxious roars can be heard endlessly, as if they want to completely suppress this world. Talha was on a rampage, and he couldn't control that much at the moment. Just wanted to rush over. He has to follow his heart. It's just that the monster in front of me can't be killed no matter what. Obviously, this guy's fighting power is not as strong as his own, but he can't be defeated no matter what. It's okay to hold yourself back at this moment. In order to kill this group of mysterious foreigners, I, Talha, am willing to pay any price. Defense, I don't want it anymore. Talha muttered to himself, with murderous intent in his eyes. Thinking silently in my heart, my teeth were grinding back and forth frantically. His expression suddenly became treacherous, and his mind was rampaging ahead. Stab. Burst. Crazy. The golden armored puppets in the quasi-demigod realm continued to attack. From the beginning to the end, the attitude was very clear, that is, to block Talha's attacking pace and take advantage of the trend to retreat. Divine System of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3697. After Talha gave up all defenses, his injuries increased. All kinds of lacerations are fully displayed on the body. The golden gun in the golden armored puppet's hand stabbed frantically, even leaving several holes in Talha's body. But Talha didn't think so at all. If it doesn't hurt, it's definitely impossible, but now he can hold back. For the rest, don't care, just rush forward regardless. This is the strongest belief. He saw Fang Fan. As long as he stabs past this damn guy, he can get to that mysterious alien, and then he can execute his hunting plan. Everything went perfectly. Talha swallowed his saliva frantically, he felt that he was doing it again. As long as you grasp this opportunity well, you can still take off. With all your body and mind, let's get restless. For the rest, it doesn't matter. Tremors, full-scale tremors, the more I think about it, the more excited I feel. Thoughts take off in full swing. Near. We're about to get in front of that nasty bastard. Talha was dressed roughly, his eyes trembled to the extreme. It would be a lie to say I wasn't nervous at all. At this moment, the surge deep in my heart is about to burst out completely. The quasi-demigod of the Protoss is attacking. Master. Go. Hans, the leader of Goth's Gatling Legion, changed his face, and then started shooting wildly with Gatling in his hand. The extremely powerful power of this Gatling is indeed powerful, but it seems a bit far-fetched to use it in this kind of situation. For a moment, the oppressive feeling in the front row swept over, and the whole person went numb. For the soldiers and commanders of the Legion, their wishes and goals are always very unified. Now there is only one idea, and that is to focus all their spiritual power on Fang Fan. As long as the master is safe, nothing else matters. Master, my level is too low, I can't control him. Daji is about to use a wave of exclusive hero skills idle charm. As long as her cultivation does not exceed 3 levels of her own, Daji can use this trick to forcibly control the opponent for 3 seconds. But obviously, the realm gap between Daji and this Protoss quasi-demigod Talha is more than 3 levels. At this time, it seems very embarrassing. With a comprehensive sweep of all aspects, the pressure in my heart is also in place. I thought silently in my heart, and then frantically started to swallow my saliva. Needless to say about other things, this time the posture is in place, and everyone understands it. Basically that's the case. The situation is really unstable. My lord, my holy asylum is ready to activate at any time. At critical moments, it can make you invincible for 2 seconds. But, that's all. My lord. We are holding on, you go, go. The hero Kyle took a deep breath, his beautiful eyes were full of worry. The 6 heroes have their own strengths and weaknesses, and basically they all have a bit of housekeeping skills. Galen waved the great sword in his hand, ready to fight. Because of the restriction of Fang Fan's cultivation, their cultivation is currently stuck at the level of the 8-star peak sanctuary, not even the saint. But even so, they can still muster all their strength to fight for it. It doesn't matter. Just go up and beat. This attitude completely collapsed. All of a sudden, my thoughts became numb at night, and I didn't know how to continue talking. It's crazy, it's even more exciting. If you feel this way, tell someone more. Fang Fan frowned, riding on Tianlong's back, he couldn't help looking at Bai Piao who was beside him. Bai Piao's body trembled. He understands this look in seconds. At this critical moment, it seems that there are not many other options. Why? I owe you all my life. Fang Fan, you can't be busy. If you are busy, how can I enter the small world of Shushan Pavilion to find my girl? This time, I will fight against you. Oh shit. That's a demigod, what the hell is a demigod? Grass. My mind is broken. Bai Piao gritted her teeth, and while talking, couldn't help but began to complain all over. Thinking silently in my heart, the width of my lips became larger. There are thousands of thoughts, and the more I think about it, the more messy the thoughts in my heart become. You. Why don't you give yourself some armor? Aren't there a lot of divine armors in the inner vault of the Protoss Tianlin city before? Put on. Put on all. Fang Fan then reminded. This guy Bai Piao usually doesn't seem very serious, but if something happens to him, this guy is actually very useful. In all aspects, you can follow and stabilize, there is no big problem. This time the feeling is in place, and the thoughts are fully boiling. I understand everything. For the rest, it doesn't matter. Grasp it, let a wave take off. Why? Fang Fan, you still have a good brain. Why didn't I think of this? Careless. Steady. Well. There is still a chance. Bai Piao didn't care anymore, he first put on a set of soft armor, and then put on 2 layers of armor. Anyway, just wear a few of them blindly. These are basically the inner armor of the weak demigod level and strong demigod level armor. You know, the armor that can be hidden in the inner vault of the Protoss Tianlin city, can it be an ordinary thing? Turtle son. Your grandpa is here. Come on. Come on. I'm afraid of you. Just do it. Bai Piao yelled twice, and then directly confronted Talha, a quasi-demigod cultivator of the Protoss. Anyway, it's a direct stalemate. Talha frowned and looked at the stumbling block in front of him, with a displeased expression on his face. Now that he is about to do what he wants, what the hell is going to do this for him? All these things are gone, continue to play? Do you have to do something? Come on then. Let's see who can beat who. Snored. I can't even feel the spiritual power, so I'm clearly a waste. Roll. Talha didn't take it seriously, and then waved his hand, about to smash Bai Biao into pieces. Boom. There was the rhythmic sound of slapping, but Bai Biao still stood there perfectly, as if he had not suffered any injuries from the beginning to the end. Not much else to say, just this picture looks more and more weird. For a moment, my thoughts were full of thoughts, my eyes flickered, and I was in a daze, not knowing what to say. These thoughts are completely messed up in my heart. Is this? Dude, just for fun anyway? Do it, do it, do it, do it, it's endless, right? How come? How much has my attack power degraded? Talha frowned, feeling a little unconfident. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3698. Now Talha feels that something is wrong with him. No. This strength is still so sufficient. No. It's not my problem. Call. Forget it, it's useless to think so much. Gudong. Hit it a few more times. Talha began to accumulate strength, this time he didn't push it too hard, but swung the saber in his hand and slashed at Bai Biao crazily. Clang. Clang. All kinds of voices never stop. For a while, it looked a little messy. If this trend continues, the situation will be completely reversed. The situation showed signs of blood collapse for a while. Play. There's a lot of bells and whistles. It's too scary. The stimulus is in place. This wave took off. Grass. Oh shit. Easy. Very painful. It's good to hear from Fang Fan, put on the soft armor first, otherwise, this god envoy's life will really end here. Damn it, continuously attacking the divine envoy. Why? I don't know how to restrain myself at all. Brother, you see that you are tired of beating me, why don't we discuss it, let's forget it. Make a show, don't really fight. Bai Biao muttered, while talking, he couldn't help but sighed beside him. This seems to be how it was handled. It doesn't look like much of a problem. On the whole, it is more in line with the established rhythm. Look, it's really good. That's all. About there. What monster are you? Protoss. Get out of the way. Don't block the way of this god general. This god will definitely kill you. Go away. Go away. Get out. Let you go, do you hear me? In front of this general, you are nothing. Get out of the way. Go away. Talha looked mournful. They are about to get close to the leader of the mysterious alien. He's about to take revenge. Then he ran into this nasty bastard who kept blocking his way. His mind fell apart. This guy is dressed like a hedgehog, with 3 layers on the outside and 3 layers on the inside, with several layers of armor on his body. It looks so funny, I really don't know how I put it on. Anyway, there is a sense of bells and whistles inexplicably. The point is that these armors are really indestructible when worn on the bastard in front of him. This bastard didn't launch an attack either, anyway, it's been like a dogskin plaster, sticking it back and forth. Talha's blood-red eyes watched the distant figures drift away. Gradually, his complexion became more and more ugly. Hateful. It's all a nasty bastard thing. Mentality collapsed. Rubbish. It's all rubbish. A heart trembled violently, and his thoughts instantly became extremely chaotic. The thinking mode seems to be a bit broken. The two people who clearly did not understand the language began to yell at each other in their own languages. The more you scold, the more excited you become. Not much else to say, as far as the scene looks, it feels inexplicably funny. I can't laugh anymore. Interesting, it was so much fun. Fang Fan, who was gradually moving away, couldn't help but turn his head and take a second look. Among so many people present, he was probably the only one who could understand the commotion. Bai Biao's defense seems to have strengthened again. Although the defense has been improved this time because of wearing layers of armor, it is definitely not possible to be able to be so calm under the full-scale attack of the quasi-demigod before. Interesting. Where is the upper limit of this guy's potential? Every time I heard this guy screaming and screaming that he was going to be beaten to death, but from the most humble moment until he encountered a demigod, he seemed to be able to thrive. Is this guy hiding his clumsiness all the time, or is this guy's defensive power slowly stacking up in the process? Fang Fan groaned, his mind was full of thoughts. He also asked Bai Biao several times, trying to find out where his defense limit was. But this guy is basically fooling around ambiguously, and he can't hear the truth anyway. Why? We can always trust Brother Bai Biao's invincible defense. Too strong. I admire you so much. Not much else to say, just this, it's really convincing. Cowbatch. It's so tyrannical. Bai Biao's defense is as explosive as ever. This wave is really convincing. Strong, really strong. Kisha muttered, and couldn't help but sighed from the side. Brother Bai Biao is indeed a wonderful person. I don't know where it is sacred. I always feel that Brother Bai Biao is not easy. Brother Fang Fan, you and Brother Bai Biao were the first to get acquainted, do you know something about it? Brother Bai Biao, like you, Brother Fang Fan, is he the reincarnation of a true god? His. How can I, Zhuoqiu Yao, be able to meet the reincarnation and rebirth of two true gods at once? Based on this, then am I also the kind of person who is blessed with great luck? Am I also the reincarnation of some kind of god? Zhuoqiu Yao muttered, and then couldn't help thinking about it in his heart. The more I think about it, the more excited I become, and the more I think about it, the more confused my thoughts become. At this moment, thinking secretly in my heart, the brilliance in my eyes is fully displayed. Thoughts gradually became extremely chaotic. A wave of consciousness took off directly. Fang Fan. He really didn't want to answer this question. As long as you are happy, it's not a big problem. For the rest of those who have nothing, just keep silent. It was too much of a headache. In all aspects, follow and hold on. As stable as Mount Tai, this way is right. At this time, Fang Fan has already approached the city wall of Yuanxi God City. Shui Wanren and Grand Uncle Ji have already come out to meet the guards. The hundreds of thousands of Protoss troops, including the hundreds of demigods of the Protoss, wanted to join in to make trouble, but at this time, they could only choose to hang on. At this moment, they were yelling frantically, and their voices became more and more sharp, as if they had an extremely strong piercing effect. But it's useless to say more, and the language of the Protoss, the people of the Allies can't understand. Disciple. Quick, come back. Why? You kid, you insist on doing something earth-shattering for me as soon as you go out. You boy. I'll let you go out and pick a few quasi-demigod heads of the Protoss, but you're lucky, all the heads of the weak demigods of the Protoss have been picked. It's really naughty. How about it? You're not hurt. Is everything all right? Everything, how is it? Grand Uncle Ji saw Fang Fan coming, looked around, and felt relieved when he saw that there was nothing wrong. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3699. At the same time, naturally, I couldn't help but want to brag a few words in my heart. Master, is my master so good now? You don't care. Do you want me to pick off the head of the Protoss demigod at every turn? Fang Fan looked at Wu Meiling, the deputy head of Guangming Academy, and shrugged helplessly. As soon as these words came out, my mind was fully in place and basically stabilized. Wu Meiling, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, laughed so hard that she was trembling. Why? That's a nice name. It's not like you don't know what kind of temperament your master is. Now he can't wait to talk about you every day. Wu Meiling shook her head helplessly, then sighed softly. How are you? Is there nothing wrong with going out? You have been away for the past 2 days, and your master has been nagging in my ears to death. 11 out of 10 sentences are talking about you. It's the same even when you're sleeping. Wu Meiling rolled her eyes, her desire to complain became stronger. What's going on? There's a lot of bells and whistles. Sleep. Master, your speed is a bit fast. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, then looked at Taishiji, and smiled happily. For a moment, it became clear what I wanted to express. Basically fully understood. This wave is stable as Mount Tai. Take off in full swing, understand everything. You kids still dare to tease master. It's itchy now, isn't it? Taishiji stared at him, and said in a bad mood. Fang Fan, a first-year student of Guangming Academy, has captured 3 demigod heads from the Protoss. Fang Fan, a first-year student of Guangming Academy, is the head of a weak demigod. Congratulations to the light. Congratulations to the light. Congratulations to the light. The surrounding shouts followed, and for a while, the restlessness became more and more intense. Everyone gritted their teeth, and their gestures seemed very real. For a moment, my thoughts were filled with thoughts, my eyes trembled, and my whole body took off. Bai Piao fled back from a distance, and when he came back, he just yelled about one thing. Then the heads of the 3 Protoss and demigods were taken out again. Anyway, just to make some noise. This time, I want to make more benefits. Fang Fan promised before, there are benefits, he will share 10%. As long as it is beneficial, Bai Piao can do anything. These problems are not big. In every way, take off in full. That's the rhythm. Very explosive. Also very exciting. This has been said to this point, everyone must give face. Regardless of whether it was from the light camp or from other camps, all of them came together to look at the head at this moment, carefully inspecting it to see if there were any mistakes. If there is really no flaw in this matter is really not small. It can even be said that this is a big event. Takeoff pending. It exploded completely. The excitement can be swept in place again. Mind, take off calmly. It's really the head of the Protoss demigod, and the death time will not exceed 2 days. It is true. God's bones as evidence. This breath is fine. According to the hardness of this god bone, 1 weak demigod, 2 quasi-demigods. 3 Protoss and demigods. Just kill them like this? Hiss. How did they do it? My CAO, they look like that. The strongest one is the Saint Realm. Anyway, I haven't seen the existence of the demigod powerhouse. Hey, with their strength, it would take a lot of effort to kill a supreme saint, let alone a quasi-demigod and weak half-god. Is it just cheating? Is it possible? Is it really a fraud? I don't think it's that simple. The situation, there are some mistakes and omissions. Could it be that you want to fish in troubled waters? Huh? It's not impossible. This possibility is very high. Come back with the head of the demigod of the Protoss to cheat, drink and pretend. As for, it's not possible, it depends on what they think. What if they are willing to make such a fuss? Hee, what you think is really gimmicky. Understood, That's it, nothing. Couldn't you just follow along and stop for a while? What do you think? I really don't understand, not at all. You don't understand, and neither do I. There are still more doubts around. Looking at Fang Fan's posture, it doesn't seem like they can kill demigods. There must be an explanation for this credit, right? Good. Good. The heroes of my camp of light are back. We've been looking forward to it day and night, and finally, thanks to the blessing of the true God, Student Fang Fan is expected to come back. Student Fang Fan has made great contributions to my light camp. A boy born from a hero. Even the weak demigods of the Protoss can be killed, it's unbelievable. Wang Tu, the president of the light camp, suddenly came over with a benevolent face, and first praised him for a while. If Fang Fan didn't know this guy's temperament, he might have really been fooled by him. This is truer than the truth. The bells and whistles in it are still being fully superimposed. The more I listen, the more I feel a headache. From all aspects, it feels like that. Tossing and tossing, endless. Fang Fan was expressionless, just looking at Wang Tu like this, as if talking about me. I just quietly watched your performance. For the others, there was nothing to do, just keep silent on the spot. Wang Tu looked indifferent, and didn't feel embarrassed at the moment, and at the same time changed the topic. But speaking of it, it's best for student Fang Fan to briefly introduce how the heads of these three Protoss and demigods were obtained. Everyone is curious about this. He, if it's not the case, everyone won't accept it. Student Fang Fan had better prove that you killed this demigod. Wang Tu, the president of the light camp, licked his lips, and immediately started to make trouble. Prove. Prove the hammer. What proof is there for this shit? What is the situation? Do you have no points in your heart? Gossip, gossip, wave after wave. This wave of mentality followed the blood collapse on the spot, that's all. Play. Keep playing. It's interesting to watch. This wave, the suppression is in place. I understand everything. Oh. At that time, they had internal strife and killed each other, and then both were hurt, and their lives were hanging by a thread. In the end, they were harvested by me. It was I who cut off their heads with my own hands. Why? Isn't this considered military merit? Huh? Doesn't this count as contribution points? Fang Fan shrugged, and then asked directly. Bells and whistles. This matter must be dealt with clearly. I don't know, what's going on. Fang Fan is very straightforward, he came back with such a high profile, in order to contribute points. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3700. Don't be in vain. It is only right to seize such a good opportunity to gather wool. The process of hunting the gods and demigods mentioned by Fang Fan is very rough now. But in a way it's really flawless. This. How does student Fang Fan prove this? Wang Tu, the president of the light camp, started to make things difficult again. This guy is really nothing. The precious god stone fragments in the Hall of Merit were funded by the light camp, the dark camp, and the neutral camp. Theoretically speaking, the more contribution points accumulated by one's own family members, the more blood earned it. Under normal circumstances, you should feel extremely excited. Why are you deliberately making things difficult now? These people under my command can prove it. Sage Wang thinks I'm lying. There are all the witnesses and evidence, how can I lie? Since Saint Wang doubts my words, he can produce evidence. Why do you question my words? If you can't produce evidence, isn't this a deliberate false accusation? It's very real. Why? If this is a false accusation, what is the intention of Saint Wang? With Fang Fan on his body, he immediately launched a full-scale counterattack. At this time, there is no need to give this guy any face. Anyway, this guy is shameless. That being the case, why give him a face? Just slap this face and swell it up. In terms of posture, you must be fierce. Be sure to let others feel this sense of oppression. Anyway, he has messed up with the president of the Light Camp and Wang-Tu, the first-class saint of the Temple of the Light Alliance, so there is no need to continue to curry favor with him. All these things are understood in my heart. In front of the public, it is actually the best opportunity for revenge. Wang-Tu took a deep breath and was stunned for a moment. At this moment, his eyes flickered violently, and his breathing became involuntarily rapid. There are many thoughts, eyes flickering, and expressions are unpredictable. Very difficult. Also a headache. I was actually asked back by this guy. If I know these things, do I still need to ask you? I didn't expect to bury myself in the pit. Hee. Student Fang Fan was joking. I just to confirm again. I'm not responsible for the evaluation of this contribution point. It mainly depends on how the Hall of Merit evaluates. I don't think there is any problem. The Hall of Merit unanimously approved. This credit must be credited to Fang Fan. In addition to these, Fang Fan should be rewarded with additional contribution points in accordance with the principles established when the Hall of Merit and Honor was first established. In the distance, Ji Lan, the Lord of the Hall of Merit, came over. They are all old acquaintances. Ji Lan was the city lord of the God City of the 7th Academy before, and he was also the dean of the neutral Tianwu Academy. When the Hall of Merit was established by the three camps in Yuanqi Shenzhen, Ji Lan was promoted as the Lord of the Hall of Merit because of her own identity and because she was a member of the neutral camp. Review the authenticity of the contribution points, and exchange for contribution points and so on. Not to mention the friendship that Ji Lan and Fang Fan formed before, but in the current situation, is it the most fair way to deal with it? That should also be done. Only by doing so can we demonstrate fairness and justice. While Ji Lan was speaking, she couldn't help but nodded to Fang Fan, and her heart was naturally full of joy. Is the golden scale a thing in the pool? It will turn into a dragon when it encounters a storm. At this moment, in Ji Ian's heart, this poem could not help but emerge. Ji Lan, the proud son of heaven in this world, has seen many times, but it is indeed the first time he has seen someone who can achieve Fang Fan's level. So at this moment, Ji Lan, who is the owner of the Hall of Merit, should naturally speak for Fang Fan. This is not in line with the rules. After all, this has not been investigated clearly. Isn't it too good to make things hastily? I can't let everyone laugh at me. The cultivators of the Light Camp don't know how to be polite and mess around. This involves a lot of levels. The voices of emotion on the side gradually increased. These thoughts are basically in place. The president of the Light Camp and Wang-Tu, the first-class saint of the Temple of the Light Alliance, continued to speak coldly from the side. What do you mean, who doesn't know? Just lazy. Is this guy really going to treat everyone as fools? The neutral camp and even the dark camp have no voices of opposition. As the president of the Light Camp, this is not a good feeling in my heart. What kind of reasoning is this? Don't you feel that there is a feeling of slipping the world? Play around with all the bells and whistles, just follow along. The more I look at it, the more I get a headache. That's it? Hee. This is the matter of my Hall of Merit. There is no problem in the comprehensive evaluation of my meritorious service. What? Is Saint Wang trying to interfere with the evaluation criteria of my Gongsun Hall? Ji Lan, the master of Gongsun Hall, the dean of Tianwu Academy, and the city lord of the God City of the 7th Academy, shrugged indifferently, and then directly faced Wang Tadeo. This kind of shameless person who pretends to be self-serving has always been the most hated by the column. Just say what you say, why do you have to talk about these things? Listening to it feels gaudy. The eyes of the masses are discerning, and this Wang disciple is deliberately targeting, so no one really knows. At this moment, you only need to have a smart person, and then spread it out wantonly, and the public opinion effect will be there. The surrounding discussions gradually increased. This guy, is he sure to be the president of the light camp? Why do I feel that this is the president of the Protoss? How can he only target his own people? That's right. Even the dark camp didn't say anything about the evaluation of contribution points. The president of the light camp started to shout. Does this mean that you don't want the practitioners in the light camp to get contribution points? Hey, it is said that there is a conflict between Wangtu and Fang Fan. As the president of a camp, if you measure it by this point, to be honest, it's actually quite rubbish. With this character, you can also be the president's commander? Don't be ridiculous. I laughed. The surrounding voices of emotion gradually increased, and the yelling continued. The sound was not deliberately covered up, and you could still hear it if you wanted to. In an instant, the reputation of Wangtu, the president of the light camp, was ruined in an instant. Wangtu ground his teeth and clenched his hands into fists. Okay, okay. Hee. This is indeed a matter of your Hall of Merit. Then it's up to you to deal with it. Hee. At that time, I was mainly afraid of any accident. So I can't help but say a few more words. Since you have made a decision, then so be it. Wangtu waved his hand and got out as soon as possible.